If you've been a third-party property manager for any length of time, you've probably experienced this. The idea that you're working with an owner-investor client who has hired you to manage their property. Maybe things started off great. You've been managing for maybe a week, a month, a year, 5 years, but something happens. You come to a point in time that you decide, gosh, this just isn't working. We're not a good fit. I need to stop working with this owner client. So let me share with you some thoughts and kind of some best practices around how to fire an existing owner client, because it does come up from time to time. Well, I'm Marc Cunningham at Grace Property Management. If we haven't met, and we've fired our fair share of owner clients over the years. So let me first start off with this. You think, well, Marc, why? I don't understand. Why in the world would I, as a third-party property manager, want to fire someone who has hired me to rent out their property? That's my business model. I can't survive if I fire people. We understand that. But here, let me give you kind of quick 3 reasons why you may at some point in time decide it's best to stop working with an owner client. For example, they no longer trust you. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe you double billed them on an invoice and they saw it and they asked you about it and you said, oh, you're right. I'm sorry we happened. Maybe you sent out a vendor and the vendor didn't do the work right. Maybe you made it a payment arrangement with the tenant and they didn't like that. But there's been a change in the trust aspect of things. That may be a reason that you think, gosh, we just can't work together anymore because this person doesn't trust me any longer. Secondly, maybe you're not meeting their expectations. Maybe you didn't do a good job on the front end of setting proper expectations with them on what you will and won't do for them. Or maybe you set proper expectations, but over the course of time, they've continued to ask you for more. And they ask you to change your process over here and to do this differently for them over there. And I know you normally do that way, but I want you to do this. And I want you to pay this. And I want you to tell the tenant this. And suddenly you look up one day and you think, gosh, we need to reset expectations. I'm not meeting their expectations, either because they're angry at me because I did or didn't do something, or I just find myself doing so many things for this owner client that I really should not be doing, and I don't do it for anybody else. Or third, maybe they're simply high risk. Maybe they said to you when the tenant applied for a service animal, they said, I don't care if it's legit or not. I don't want any pets on my property. You better not approve that service animal. And you think, well, gosh, I kind of have to comply with the law. Or maybe there's a security deposit return and the owner demands that you do it differently than what you know is the proper, legal, and fair return of the security deposit to that outgoing tenant. But for some reason, something has happened and you've decided that they're a high-risk client. These are all examples of when you may decide it is time to let an owner client go. So let me offer a couple suggestions on this as you step into this concept. Number one, make sure you know that the goal is to end well. The goal is to end, but to end well. You never want an owner client going away angry, mad, upset. That's not a good ending. So as angry as you may be, as happy as you may be to see that person going, you must end professionally and you must end the relationship well. You owe it to them as a professional. So with that in mind, that idea that, okay, we're going to end this well. Secondly, we want to make sure we want to build on that idea of ending well with this. Don't make it about them. Make it about you. I know sometimes if it's been a bad owner and you've just like bit your tongue and you've wanted to say things to them and tell them how terrible they are and you haven't done it, now you've decided you're going to fire them. And so part of you wants to send that email and tell them exactly why you're firing them. Tell them that they're cheap and they're dishonest and they're demanding and how dare they do this. Don't do that. Why? Because the goal is to end well. So we're not going to tell them all the things they're doing wrong with their property and their tenants and how dishonest they are. No. As much as you want to, don't do that. You're going to make it about the bad fit. So let me offer you a couple scenarios or suggestions on actual language you may want to send out to them in an email when you explain to them that it's not them, it's you. They're great, they're perfect, it's you. So for example, maybe you want to say this, hey, I'm sorry, I'm sorry we are not able to make those changes to our business process. So for example, they say to you, I want you to start paying my mortgage. I want you to get me my payment faster. I want you to drive by and inspect the property that the tenant lives in every single week. Guys, I'm sorry, but we're not able to make those changes to our business process. And I like saying we're not able to, because you're not. You're not able to change your business just because of that one person. So there's an option of kind of a soft way of saying, no, we're not going to do this. Now, this is before you lead into the, and therefore we need to part ways. Okay, this is just kind of the beginning part of that. So I'm sorry, but we're not able to make those changes to our business process. Or how about this? I'm sorry, we are not able to meet your expectations. You say, well, Mark, it's not me, it's them. Like they have unrealistic expectations. I know they do, but we're not making it about them, we're making it about you. Because you're still unable to meet them, aren't you? You're still unable to meet those unrealistic expectations. You don't need to tell them their expectations are unrealistic. Just say you're not able to meet those I almost said it. You're not able to meet their expectations. And yes, lead with you're sorry, because you are. You're sorry that the relationship isn't working out. So you may want to say, I'm sorry, we're not able to meet your expectations. Or how about this one? How about this one? When they just want to get involved. They want to get involved. Maybe you say this, which we've done from time to time. You know, our full service management process is designed for owner clients who really wish to be fully hands-off and unbothered in the day-to-day operations of managing the property. And I understand, and you go on, I understand you want to be involved. I understand you want to drive by the property every day, and you want me to call you every day with an update. But our process is really designed for owner clients who wish to be uninvolved, who wish to be hands-off on the process. Now, before I tell you those are three options, like part A, option A, option B, option C. Before I tell you the secondary part of how you then move into so therefore we are firing you, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, Reconcile Daily. Trust accounting is a big deal. Taking care of the owner's money is a big deal. If you're not balancing your trust account, if you're not making sure that everything is reconciled daily, you're probably doing a disservice to your owner clients and certainly to your business. If you're having trouble with your accounting, with your reconciliation of your trust accounts, reach out to Reconcile Daily. They're CPAs, they're property managers as well. They get it. This is what they do for our industry. I know these guys. I like these guys. I trust these guys. They will help you make sure your books are tight. Even if it's just like an overview, hey, come in and look at it, and what do I need to do different? Reach out, jump on their website, reconciledaily.com. Tell them Mark sent you. Tell them to take care of you and get your books tight like they need to be. Okay, so where were we? You've told the owner that you're not meeting their expectations, so here's kind of how we finish that up. We'd say something like this. We would never want an owner client to be unhappy or frustrated or to believe we're not operating in good faith. Therefore, I think it would be best for us to part ways. So remember, the first part is, gosh, I'm sorry we're not able to meet your expectations, and I'm sorry that you're getting frustrated with us. We never want an owner client to be unhappy or frustrated. And you don't need to say this verbatim. I mean, pick which one you need to kind of move it to. Or if they think you're being dishonest or they don't trust you anymore, that's where you say, I never want you to think that we're operating in bad faith, Mr. Owner. I never want to work with an owner client who doesn't trust us, because I have the key to the front door of your house. So if you don't trust me spending your money, making decisions on your behalf, then it's probably best for us to part ways. That's pretty soft, isn't it? Like they're not probably going to get too angry at that, because the best thing to do is not to hold tight on them and not let them go away. The best thing to do is to let them go away. Like we don't have a termination fee in our property management agreement. We don't. I know I'm very rare that way. Most of you have big fat termination fees. I don't like that. If an owner client gets upset at you, or you want them to go away, or they want you to go away, let them go away, guys. This business is too hard to deal with owner clients who aren't a good fit for your process. All right, number three, part three of this whole thing. Once you've made that determination, you've informed them of that, now you must focus on your closeout process. This is where too many times, some of us are just like, I'm just glad to see them go. I'll send them their deposit and let's get them out of there. Be careful, because here's where you want to make sure you offboard them properly. Offboarding an owner client, I think, is almost more difficult and time consuming than onboarding an owner client, because you've got to make information, especially if the property's occupied. You got to inform everybody, transfer money, cancel utility information stuff, get documents out to everybody. It's a big process. Do you have a termination process? You should. If you're a member of our video coaching club, you remember a number of months ago, we went through this. This was the entire topic, how to end well. We went through the video coaching aspect of the termination process, the checklist you want to use. By the way, if you're not a member of the video coaching PM group, it's time to get on board. We'll help you out with that process as well. But you've got to make sure that you're closing out properly so that they go away happy. By the way, next video in 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about the topic of how to say no to a potential incoming owner client. So we've just been talking about how to fire a current client that you're like, I never should have worked with these folks, or something changed with them and now they need to go away. How about, because I hear this question a lot from property managers, I'm talking to a new prospective owner client, I'm selling myself and we're talking, and at some point in time I'm like, I don't think I should be working with this owner client, but I've like been trying to sell myself and they like me. Now how do I back out slowly of that potential relationship. So in 2 weeks on our video, we will talk about that, how to back out slowly, how to say no after you've kind of been saying yes to that whole process. My friends, if I can be of assistance, jump on our website, pmbuild.com. You'll find more help and information and videos and downloads than you will know what to do with. Until I see you in 2 weeks, I wish you success.